Wait, we live?
Yes.
Oh.
Hello,
My
everyone.
bad. What up, everybody? What's going on?
Hopefully you can hear us.
What's happening, everybody?
Go ahead and put this in.
Welcome to We Are Going to Have Words. I was very phonetic with it. We're gonna have words.
So excited.
What you got? Do your thing, baby. Do the intro, please.
Welcome to another episode of We're Gonna Have Words, where we discuss, debate, explore, and sometimes argue topics on life, love, relationships, and family. I'm your host, Mandy, along with my hubs.
E-Dub. What up, everybody?
What up, everybody?
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
It is Saturday. It's sunny outside. Very hot.
It is Juneteenth.
It is officially Juneteenth today.
Yes. And
yesterday,
finally made it a holiday.
They did.
Yeah.
Yesterday, let me go back. Thursday evening, a lot of people found out that they wouldn't have to go to work on Friday. I was one of those people. I had read that it was coming, that the president was going to sign it into law, but I didn't really know how it was going to affect me work-wise. And then once it was signed, the emails started coming out, and next thing you know, Juneteenth is a paid national holiday.
Here we are.
The first new national holiday since Martin Luther King Jr.'s birthday.
Yeah, don't give me the line. I don't know all the deets.
Yes, that was the last time, if I'm not mistaken, that was the last time a national holiday was signed into law. That was 1983, 84, something crazy like that.
Don't give me the line, because I'm not really big on the history stuff.
Yeah, but it is a national holiday, so you work for the government, you're going to get a paid day off. Or if you have to work, it'll be time and a half. For government workers. Regular folks, I don't know, you might have to still go to work.
Private businesses, I think they can determine whether they're going to...
Yeah, you still might have to go in. But June 19th, which is today's date, is the actual day.
Yes.
If it falls on a Saturday, you celebrate it on Friday. If it falls on Sunday, you celebrate it on Monday.
Yes.
Yeah,
and Mr. History Buff, you want to give those people a lesson if they don't know what today is?
Oh, no, that's it.
That's all you...
That's all I got.
Google it.
I do know
the
reason behind it, but we're not going to go down that road today. Yeah, you can just Google it, look it up if you're really interested in what it means. But we are here.
Yeah, we are.
And you're looking very nice. I like our background today.
Yes.
The sunshine and the water. Because that's where we want to be.
This is where we want to be.
Somewhere in paradise.
Yeah, in the Caribbean somewhere.
Yes, and now that we seem to be at least coming a little bit out of this pandemic. We're not completely out from it, okay? It's not over yet.
Right.
But we seem to be coming a little bit out of it some, and hopefully a lot of the states will go to, fully restriction-free. People are going to be getting out. I already see the changes in the neighborhood. You see people walking around a little more. You see cars in front of people's houses.
A little bit of normalcy.
Things like that, yeah. So, but I'm not there yet all the way.
Me neither.
There's still some places that require you to be in a mask regardless, because that's just what those businesses choose, and so I respect whatever they decide. And even though you go in some place and they say, oh, if you're fully vaccinated, you don't have to be in a mask. I am fully vaccinated. You are fully vaccinated. I still wear my mask.
Yeah.
Just because for the people that decide for their own personal reasons to not get vaccinated, they probably didn't want to be wearing a mask in the first place. And so now it's, they don't have to. So just as a way of continuing to protect myself, protect our family until, we get to a more level of comfortableness around mixed company. But what I mean by that is not family that's not vaccinated or anything like that. You know what I mean? So I'm just gonna keep doing that thing. And hopefully by the end of this year, Thanksgiving will be in full tilt. Christmas will be in a full tilt. Maybe we'll get a Macy's Day Parade this year. Something like that.
I don't know. I think you might be jumping the gun on that a little bit.
I'm being...
Pump your brakes.
I'm being confident that that's going to happen. Yeah, there's variants out there and things like that, but I'm confident that by the fall and into the beginning of 2022, there'll be pop-ups here and there, I'm sure, of outbreaks and might need a booster shot, things like that.
Right.
But,
yeah.
Hopefully they'll be a little bit closer to normal. So can we talk about just for a second?
Mm-hmm.
Well, not just for a second, for a few minutes. What tomorrow is?
Well, hence the balloons and stuff.
No, I just want to make sure you're prepared to talk about it.
I mean, it's part of the topic.
I came ready.
Father's Day.
So I hope you're ready. See that look?
No, I'm just gonna let you talk you.
First, let me say this, and I speak for all the fellas out there. Don't cook tomorrow. Don't let your family, your woman, put you out on the grill in 95-degree weather to cook for yourself on Father's Day.
So what you're saying is you feel like I've made you cook before on Father's Day?
Listen.
No.
Yes, you have. I am not cooking anything tomorrow. If we don't have leftovers, you're going to have to eat cereal or Eggos or Pop-Tarts or something, because I'm not cooking tomorrow at all.
Ain't nobody asking you to cook tomorrow, okay?
I was in the barbershop today, and the owner of the barbershop, I don't know him all that well, but he's seen me enough in there. We speak.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Things like that. So I walked in. He was like, hey, what's up, man? How you doing? I said, oh, I'm good. How about you? And he said, man, happy Father's Day. And he said it kind of loud.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of caught me off guard because we weren't that far apart from each other. He said, oh, there's a salon in the back of the barbershop.
Oh.
So he said, I said it loud enough so when the ladies walk by, they can hear. Because they've been coming in and out and nobody said happy Father's Day.
Oh.
I said, got you. That is correct. He said, because if it was Mother's Day and we didn't say happy Mother's Day, it'd be a whole thing. I said, you're absolutely correct. It would be a whole thing.
Said, I think you better let it go.
Because we don't get the love that we deserve on Father's Day.
All right, go ahead. Get it out your system.
It's nothing in my system. I just want to make sure that if you can sit and have a podcast, and not us, but other people have podcasts and talk for 20 minutes about Mother's Day, we can spend 20 minutes talking about Father's Day and how important fathers are.
So?
And I will let you go so you can talk about how important Father's Day is to you because of your dad. Go ahead. It's not a setup. You can just go ahead.
It is a setup.
No, it's not. I promise.
I already told my dad how I feel about him. So.
Tell the people.
No.
Huh?
No. That's between me and my dad.
I don't mean what you told him. I'm talking about how you feel about Father's Day.
It is a little underrated. I don't think it's intentional though. I think it has something to do with society. You guys kind of like don't do as much as we do.
I sense some hesitancy in you discussing and giving props.
It's not hesitance in giving props. It's just, I think commercially it seems that Mother's Day is more celebrated. But I think that depends on the situation. So like it kind of alarms me, even though we talked about this before. It alarms me that you feel like, oh, there you go on already. And you keep talking about it, and it makes me think I'm not doing enough to, as the father of our child, to, make you feel like we appreciate you. Do you feel underappreciated?
Underappreciated? I would say that yes. Short answer.
You feel underappreciated?
Yes. But not specifically on Father's Day. Just
every day?
As a father in general. But let me give you an example.
Mm-hmm.
So let's say our son needs something. He comes to the bedroom door. He knocks on the door. He says, Dad. I answer. I was like, what's up, kid? He's like, Dad, where's Mom? Like, Mom's in the bathroom or something. What do you need? Oh, I need to ask Mom a question. I said, okay, well, what's the question? Maybe I can answer the question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be something, maybe he's looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
Or, getting ready to do some laundry or something like that, and he wants to know what the appropriate settings are for something that he needs to wash, gentle or something like that, right?
Yeah.
So, instead of asking me, because while I'm right there, he will wait to ask you. Even though I'm just as capable of answering the question. Right?
Well, maybe he doesn't know that. No, if it comes to the washing machine, then he's like, oh, Mom's the one usually doing the laundry, so Mom's gonna know.
Which is not true also.
I mean, you do it sometimes.
What I'm saying to you is, dads know stuff too. Dads can answer questions too. But the default is to go ask Mom. And in mother's defense, sometimes dads say, go ask your mother. Okay.
Right. But I mean, but even for you growing up, was that the same for you? Was your go-to your mom instead of asking your dad?
Well.
And don't use the excuse because he was at work either.
Well, it's part of the answer.
Mm-mm.
Is that when I was younger, and I would say my preteen years, I saw my mother more during the day because of their work schedules. Mm-hmm. He worked and he didn't come home until later on at night. So by the time he got home, it was, go take a shower, finish your homework, whatever, start getting ready for bed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it wasn't anything that I necessarily needed to hold on to ask him for later, because it's something that would come up during that time.
Yeah.
So it wasn't I'm not going to ask Mom, I'm going to ask Dad. Until I got a little older, some things that I was thinking about was different, in terms of hormones, girls, things like that. I wasn't necessarily comfortable with talking to my mother about. I asked Dad that question. Even though my mother at least would want to know if I was thinking about it, so she might ask. Mm-hmm. But there's just some things, as a young man, you feel more comfortable asking your father about, because he has the information because he's experienced it. But some things are awkward to ask your mother.
Yeah.
Especially about stuff like that.
Well, about what, with boys asking their moms about, right. I guess, girls or whatever, but
Right. But I think fathers go unappreciated or feel unappreciated just because over the years what they see in terms of the Mother's Day celebrations, it's heavily centered on outward celebration of the mother, right? You see banners everywhere. On TV, you see Mother's Day sales at all the stores, and you see flower advertisements. 1-800-Flowers. There's commercials everywhere, and you see ads, and
it's very commercialized.
Make sure you get
commercialized.
Flowers for your mother.
Commercialized.
Like
yeah.
Post office is packed. People sending their cards out, making sure I get there on time.
And you don't feel that the Father's Day is celebrated just
because it isn't.
I mean,
let's
they do.
Just be real.
I mean, okay, so let's.
You know what happens on Father's Day when there's Father's Day sale?
Home Depot. Yes.
Tools.
and home improvement stuff.
Yes.
But
that's what the Father's Day sale is about.
But generally that's what you guys are usually into. Though retail clothing and apparel, they will have sales too. I think that it's just historically been this way.
Mm-hmm. Which is unfair.
Well,
When you start seeing the Father's Day sale, maybe a few days before Father's Day. Prior to Mother's Day, it's a whole couple of weeks when you start seeing those sales. Those advertisements.
I think it's just the social part of it. because socially, mothers are made a big deal of, because since the beginning of time.
In fairness.
Yeah, because it's ingrained in us though. Because I mean, let's be real. Whenever it came down to like growing up and witnessing the celebration of Mother's Day and then the celebration of Father's Day, it was a drastic difference, right?
Yeah.
So you're grown up with that, and you think, oh, of course, you learn from what you see and you experience. And so that's just repetitive, and it keeps repeating generation after generation. And so here we are.
And dads get no love. Now, let me say this. Mothers, y'all carry the babies, give birth, so that connection and that...
We don't get no love for giving birth.
That connection starts in the beginning. All we are in the beginning are donors. That's it. That's all we are. But
you're now listening to the Arrow Podcast.
All we are is donors in the beginning. Okay, so everyone dotes. I mean, think about it. You see a lady walking around, you see her belly sticking out, right? You're like, oh, congratulations. I mean, the dad could be standing right next to her. Oh, congratulations. You're glowing, all this kind of stuff, right? When the woman is pregnant, right?
Well, that's because she's physically going through it.
Dad standing right there, don't say nothing to her.
But you don't say, oh, you're glowing, Dad.
No, I don't mean that. I'm just saying it's like he doesn't exist in those moments. Because the baby got there somehow, but it doesn't matter.
You feel like you don't exist. Are you talking generally, or are you talking personally?
I'm going to get personal in a minute, but I'm just talking generally.
Okay.
The dad does not exist. Right now, there are situations that happen where guys get a woman pregnant, he's not necessarily attached to her in any other way. There's that. But there are plenty of generations of fathers that were not just donors. They were there for their children. They loved their kids, and they were around, and they helped to raise them, and were very important parts of their child's life. Inspiration to their child.
And I'm sure those children, those fathers feel love from their children.
I bet they felt underappreciated on Father's Day too.
You think so?
Of course.
Okay, fellas, if you're a dad, do you feel underappreciated on Father's Day?
So
I want to explore this a little bit more because...
Yep, not finished. Check it out. So, when I was growing up... oh no, I'm on it. When I was growing up. Now I'm going to get personal instead of being general. As a kid, Mother's Day come, Dad says, hey, it's Mother's Day. It's whatever we're going to do. Whether we're going to go out for brunch or, get her a card, or we're going to get flowers, or whatever we're going to do. Mom on Mother's Day. Father's Day comes around. Hey, got a card for your dad. Sign this card. Right. No problem. Hey, Dad, love you. Or, I got this present for your dad. You have to, let's just use tie or belt or something like that, for instance. Father's Day comes around. You wake up. Hey, Dad, happy Father's Day. Love you. Go right back to whatever you was doing.
Right.
And
I mean,
Mother's Day
similarly.
is an all morning, afternoon situation, because Mother's Day is we going to church, possibly. All the ladies are dressed up. Guest pastor. Church is a little bit longer than it usually is because it's a Mother's Day celebration.
Because moms usually go far and beyond. Now, there's exceptions to every situation. So I'm sure there's some, what would you say, deadbeat moms out there or whatever. But usually moms go above and beyond without being asked to do so.
The church is hot because it's extra packed on Mother's Day. So you got they set up the extra chairs in the aisles because there's no space in the pews, or they opened up the alternate.
I mean, there's so many reasons behind that, though. If you look at the roles just between the male-female roles, women were expected to raise the kids. Women were at home raising the kids. The men were off working. So it was that connection there. So it was like in celebration.
I'm not finished. So,
no, I'm saying, but you have to be fair because it's not like a total disregard. This is generational. Because I remember not doing much for my
Father's
dad.
Day tomorrow, and I'm not even gonna get a chance to talk. See what I'm talking about, fellas?
No, but then I think it's important for as parents to instill that. Like, hey, we celebrated both of them.
And we'll get there. So, back to church on Sunday. They opened up the auxiliary room for people to sit and listen to the sermon because there's so many people in the main part of the church. They done broke out the fans because it's hot in there. You know them old school Martin Luther King Jr. fans? You know what I'm talking about? See them in church like this? On the little sticks, on the popsicle sticks?
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Just fanning because it's hot. This is what's happening in church.
This is what you're going to do Father's Day weekend is complain.
So.
That's all right. I'm going to let you go ahead and go, and you're going to feel like caca-poo-poo tomorrow.
Not complaining. Simply explaining.
That just makes me think that whatever it is that we do for you tomorrow will just go on.
No, I'm talking about the history.
Just go unappreciated, unnoticed, because you're just going to be stuck in your feelings, and it's just not going to be enough.
I'm talking about the history of how things have gone. We're not talking about tomorrow.
I can give you the moon, and be like, meh.
Next podcast, we'll talk about what happened on Father's Day.
No.
So, after church, if you're not eating at the church, you're going to eat somewhere.
Why are we still talking about Mother's Day? You're supposed to be talking about Father's Day.
I am talking about Father's Day. After church, you go out to eat, maybe, or you go over to somebody's house for a big Mother's Day celebration. You have dinner, maybe you do a couple presents, you got the flowers on the table, whatever it is, right? Cool, awesome. Father's Day, none of that happens.
But here's the thing. We've been having conversation after conversation. I've asked you time and time again, hey babe, what do you want for Father's Day? No, I don't need nothing. What can I do for you? Father's Day. I don't want any trouble.
That's just me. But when you're talking about
But you can't sit back and say that dads are not, and which includes yourself, are not celebrated when I've tried to ask you specifically what you want, because I don't want to get it wrong. So I'm going to ask you exactly, and then you say, oh, no, nothing, and then be mad or feel underappreciated because nothing was done.
We'll see. We'll see Monday morning how I feel. We'll see how I feel Monday morning.
You think you're disappointed now?
But I know a lot of good dudes that are good Father's Day kids.
And they go underappreciated.
I was in the military.
And they're telling you, man, my kids don't even appreciate me.
I'm not putting nobody out there.
You're not saying no names. I'm just saying.
Right now I'm talking about understanding that there are good dudes out there that are.
Yes.
Good fathers to their sons or daughters. They still married to their kid's mother. With them, been married.
But that doesn't make them less of a father if they're not married to their mother.
I'm being specific about my example. It's been around. That's there and they're doing their thing. I also know dads that weren't still with their mother and were still a fixture in their child's life, right? Which is awesome, because I think that in either situation, that dads are very important when you're talking about the upbringing of a child.
Of course.
For different reasons, right? Because
yeah.
a dad can, give his daughter little pointers about how men are going to be, and of course.
Yeah, well, the dad is an example.
Right, of course, that son, you trying to raise a man, which brings with it a lot of responsibility and pressure, because you want your son to go out there and be, to grow into a good man, a good responsible man, that can handle his business when he gets older. So there's it's a lot there to process and to go through, and things you want to do and accomplish, and then because you want your children, daughter or son, to be able to grow up, and when it's time for them to go out to the world, that they're good. You always be there for them, but you want them to be set up for success, and you want to be able to be there for them whenever they need you, if they have to reach back and ask questions or get advice.
Yeah.
Anything like that. So it's a lot of pressure to be a father. Not that there isn't pressure to be a mother. I'm just saying in a different aspect.
Yes.
Okay. So I think that fathers just as much as mothers deserve the love, deserve the appreciation.
Yes, I agree.
Deserve their accolades for being there for their kids, and I don't mean just in a provider kind of way, right? I'm not talking about just going out to work and bringing back that money.
No, like building a relationship, like, right? Like having a relationship.
Yeah, I'm not just talking about that, because that's just one piece. I'm talking about actually being in their child's life and
being someone the kids can talk to.
Exactly.
Being accepting and not judgy and
right.
And all of that. And I think sometimes that the father-child dynamic has the potential to be that, that they're afraid to talk. Because, like, growing up, my dad was, like, mostly the authority figure. Like, it was like, wait till your dad gets home whenever we were acting up, And so it was kind of like, oh, And he actually said, he's like, you guys go to your mom all the time. You'd be surprised how many times I tell you yes. Because we're afraid. We're just going to assume that he's going to say no.
Right.
And so, mom would be like, go ask your dad. And we're like, oh, shoot, I don't want to do that. Because he's for real going to say no. Because it was just that, the dynamic, he didn't, it was like, as a kid, you didn't want your dad to come home from working all day and to hear that you've been acting up, and now you gotta get scolded or get in trouble because now and it goes to the point where you're like, I can't talk to him because he might want to give me a spanking or put me on restriction or something if I tell him I messed up, But mama's like, because mothers are that nurturing, almost like, we love you no matter what. And Christian probably feels that way because he used to tell him that since he could understand what I was saying to him. I love you no matter what, I love you. And so, they have kids that usually have that understanding that mom's there, that no matter what. But, dad comes in, with his armor on as he was raised to have. And it's like, wait a minute. No, I got to have this armor on with him. So, if he's a boy, then he's probably like, oh, dad, where's his armor? I gotta wear my armor too. And it's not that he's actively thinking that, he's just emulating what he sees.
Right.
So, it just kind of comes, I think that if we start raising our boys to feel more comfortable with their emotions and their feelings and feeling okay about having feelings and not having to wear this armor of strength all the time, then I think that would come out more in their parenting whenever they get older, so then they can teach their kids, and then their kids can understand that we're human, we can have feelings, we don't have to put on this I'm strong all the time facade, and feel more comfortable with talking to both, so both parents can be nurturers and symbols of strength and whatnot.
I'm a different parent than how I was parented, primarily because we're just in a different time now, where things are just information is everywhere, and social media and the outside influences and things like that. There were outside influences when I was growing up, but it was different. So I have to parent different than how I was parented. From a disciplinary standpoint, it's different. Generationally, when we were growing up, in the generation before that, it was, you got a whipping, you got a spanking if you went wrong. And, as parents, we didn't.
No, it's like if your siblings did something, you got one
That's
too.
True too.
And it was like, oh yeah, y'all not gonna give it up. Then everybody got one, or it was like y'all just pressed it. Well, at least I come from. I have siblings, so closer to my age than you do.
Then I do, yeah.
Yeah. So, did you ever get in trouble for?
A few times. It may have been more than that, but we're so far apart in age, it was a little different. They're closer in age, so I'm sure they were experienced it more than I did. But just as far as discipline and things like that, it's just it's just a bit different, just because what we decided, plus probably what I decided before we even talked about it. Like, hey, maybe we can work this out without having to give him a whipping.
Right. Well, it depends on temperament of kids too.
Yeah, that's
some kids take the spanking like nothing, like and
whatever. Right.
And it's like, oh, you need a spanking, restriction, all of the above.
Right. So,
for you to learn.
Yep. So
I mean, that's frowned upon these days with the whole physical discipline.
That's a whole other thing.
It worked for us, anyways.
But yeah, just being a father in this day and age, and still having to go out into the world and all the things that's happening now that are added on to what was already going on, and having to be so careful when you're outside the house, because the thought of going out to do whatever job it is that you do, you want to come home to your family, you want to come home to your kids if you have kids, right?
Yeah.
So you can be the father for them that they need to navigate the world that's out there.
Mm-hmm.
Because you're out there and you're getting information. Okay? You're gathering this data. You're figuring out what it takes to maneuver, and you need to give that information to your kids. Even though your kids are probably smarter than you in different ways, there's still things that they don't know. There's still things that a father can teach their kids, whether they're teenagers or adults.
Right.
That they need to get through this world. Because sometimes you gotta reach back. I call my dad and ask him things. I don't call my mother and tell my mother I called my dad to ask him things. I just call my dad,
right.
to ask him questions about things that I might be wondering or curious about. And so he's always been there for me to do that. And my dad's not a big talker necessarily, or he wasn't when I was growing up. He wasn't a huge talker, but I just call him and talk to him, and we can chat, and we can talk about whatever. He's never not answered a question that I have for him.
Yeah. Me and my dad talk a lot. We talk about all kinds of things.
Yep. So I feel like that's important to have that there. You know what I mean? So let's put a button on the Father's Day and move on to our other topic. So
yeah, somebody's got a birthday coming up.
Yeah, we're not talking about that.
What?
So no. So
oh, that's the balloons.
Father's Day.
Your birthday.
Fellas, enjoy your Father's Day tomorrow.
Happy Father's Day. See, we didn't do a Mother's Day podcast, but we are doing a Father's Day podcast. See?
It's just how it worked out with the timing.
No,
so,
we
fellas,
could have done it, but we didn't.
Y'all get enough.
See?
Y'all get enough.
What?
Fellas, enjoy your day. Relax.
Happy Father's Day, you guys.
You know what I mean? Take a little time to yourself if you can, because some fathers have to work tomorrow, even though it's Father's Day. Take some time for yourself. Relax. Stay out that hot sun. No reason to be on the grill tomorrow. Just
what if they want to be on the grill tomorrow?
I mean, if that's what you enjoy,
that's their Father's
Day
thing. What if they just got this really cool grill for Father's Day and they want to do the thing? Like they want to smoke something, or smoke a what do you call it? A roast? What do you call the things they be smoking? They put in a smoker.
You can put anything in the smoker. You got to be more specific.
What's it called? The cut of the meat. Whatever.
You talking about like a brisket or something like that?
Yeah. There you go. You can smoke a brisket. And your new smoker grill that you got for Father's Day.
That just proves this topic is not for you. So let's move on to.
Move on to the other part.
Yes.
Work-life balance and stress.
Yes, ma'am. So it was presented by one of our listeners.
Yeah.
I don't think he's on today, but that's all right. My boy Miguel, he wanted to talk about if we could spend a few minutes.
The name who mentioned it.
Oh, well,
it was just mentioned.
It's a shout out about how that we're now starting to make a transition out of lockdown. Okay, what took place during that, I would say, 18 months, basically, almost, right, of people making the transition from going out every day to working to being at home all the time, doing the remote working, and how for some people, remote working didn't necessarily mean a break. Because, depending on what kind of job you had to log into a computer and you had to be on there all day. You had to be doing something.
Well, yeah, within your framing time. I think what happened for some people, not necessarily for you with the whole remote working thing, is that you're used to working in an office. So you go to the office, you do your time, right, and then you clock out and you leave, right, and then you're on your way home and then you're off, right? Hopefully, not unless you're on one of those I'm on call 24/7 type jobs, right? But when you're working from home, you're working from home. So it's real easy to be like, oh, I'm clocking in, but I never quite clock out because I'm doing work from the couch, or I'm doing work from the dinner table, or I'm taking emails after hours. And that, your 8-hour day turns into 10 hours or so on and so forth. And then maybe, your boss pushes the limits because you're at home. Hey, we need this done. Not now, right now. How about work through the weekend?
Right. Thinking it's okay just because.
Right, just because you're thinking you ain't got shit else to do, right. But you do because you have a life. And then you have inject workaholic mentality, because people have those like work, right? Want to work longer hours, and then when you insert the remote, they're like, oh yeah, this is. But then burnout happens.
Definitely, and everybody was at home, so it wasn't just you that was affected by it. You're there, your kids or your wife or whatever, was there, and so I believe everyone was thinking, oh, well, I'm working from home, I'm gonna have all this extra time to.
And some people did.
Some people did.
Yeah, some people managed.
Yeah, but for some it was, hey, at 8 o'clock I have to be in front of this computer, on Teams or Zoom meetings, for hours, and talk on a Zoom meeting when you could have just sent me an email. You could have just talked about that there. And if you have a boss or work for a company that, just as they were getting into it, hey, you got to give me more because we're not in front of each other. Now more production has to come out of what we're doing. So, they put that pressure on you to just be working all the time, like you said. And so that definitely could cause its own separate level of stress.
Well, yeah.
Plus the anxiety from the pandemic that was going on.
So yeah. So it's almost like it could possibly be that perfect storm of things. You have a workaholic that wants to do the extended hours, with a boss that expects the weekends to insert stresses from the pandemic, and or the micromanaging of people of supervisors and managers that are not used to their people working remotely, feeling like they have to watch every move and they can't because they're not in the office. And here you have this perfect storm of this imbalance of work and private life. And then how does that affect the family, your spouse, the kids? Because I just recently read an article that was like people that went from having to do the commute and then working remotely actually got to spend more time with their family because of the commute time. So the commute time was eliminated, and so that allowed more time for them to clock in earlier and do the work and finish early, or that they were just able to spend the commute hours spending time with their family, or even that they're more productive from going from the office to being remote. Because some people, like, I'm the type that I would rather work from home because the distractions in the office I'd be more productive.
The inner workings of the office, life and the water cooler discussion.
Yes,
things like that.
The
in-office drama.
They would get a whole lot more work from me if I could work from home.
Right. And I didn't know that I could get tired of watching somebody else talk during a meeting.
Oh, I thought you was going somewhere else with it.
No, because you have, because in order for some of these companies to, want to keep you engaged, to feel like you're earning your money, the switch was to, oh, we need to have a Teams meeting or we need to have a Zoom meeting. And next thing you know, you're in a meeting for 3 hours of different people talking, and you can't get that time back. You're just sitting there, but it's not actually productive. I didn't know that can make you tired, but I learned that it can.
That's mental exhaustion
just
right there.
Sitting in front of a computer, and I'm not actually working. I'm just listening.
And people are talking, but they're not really saying much.
Correct. You're going around the different people's homes or wherever they are, and someone wants to talk for 20 minutes. Someone wants to talk for another 20 minutes. And if that other person
you got 30 people on the panel.
Right. If that other person feels like they're more important than the person that just talked, now they got to go 25. Right. Because, I'm more important than you because of whatever, so I need to talk longer. It is so unnecessary. And so you end up just feeling that when you're sitting in front of the computer. 3 hours have gone by, and you're just like, And you got, wait, let me make sure my camera's off before I react. And I'm on mute, so I don't say anything crazy while somebody might be on there talking that I have never liked. I didn't like them when I was in the office, and I definitely don't like them now. So let me make sure my computer's on mute. And so
I think everyone has that work experience.
Yep. And so you get that stress on, which, and of course stress is relative, but you get that stress, and then how do you figure out the rest of your day around that? How do you balance that? And of course it changed. In the beginning it was very laid back while companies were figuring it out, and once they figured it out, everything ramped up and it went crazy.
Yeah, because they wanted more productivity.
Right.
Because they're like, we're paying you, so you should be doing A, B, and C.
So things got hectic.
Yes.
And how would you balance your life around it? And while those things changed for you, you were also affected by how things were happening for the rest of your family.
Right.
It's not just you that these things happen. Is there going to be school? Is there not going to be school? Is school going to be remote? Is 2 days a week, 3 days a week? It throws your entire routine off until you had time to adjust. But while those things were adjusting, things might have been getting more stressful at work. So it was a constant run through of adjustments throughout the year, trying to figure out. And of course, unfortunately, some people lost their jobs in the pandemic.
Right.
So that work-life balance became just a life stress balance.
Yeah.
And that just completely throws through everything. Unfortunately, I wasn't affected in that manner.
Right.
But people were. So it was definitely a tough time, and people are still coming out of it, still not working, still trying to get back on and get jobs. And one thing these companies I figured out is, maybe we don't need as many people as we had before. How can we cut? How can we save? How can we save overhead? Companies making millions of dollars. How can we figure out how we can cut some of these?
Well, they need to leave some of the jobs remote.
Right. Yes, they can do that. First thing to go is people. You know what I mean?
To go for? No, I'm saying they would save overhead if they don't have to pay for office building or a big building to hold all these people, where people who have the capability of working from home can work from home.
Right, but if they got they have that lease already, that's still got to be paid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean.
So how do we
going forward?
How do we cut this?
Because I believe there was a point in time before the pandemic where companies were pulling back from remote jobs because of that whole, they feel like their employees should have face-to-face interaction, or they can't micromanage, can't really supervise their remote workers, and it's like, we're all adults here, really.
Right.
Give a person a chance before you just pull remote opportunities off the table,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe it's a chance to save money for a company. But
Right. And
anyway,
if imagine you're in one corner of the house on the computer, I'm somewhere else in the house on the laptop working. Maybe you don't have time to really interact because you have to go to your quote unquote offices, right?
mm-hmm.
And then some people weren't even able to work remote. So imagine the wife is at home working remote and the husband has to go out because
Mm-hmm.
some places just didn't shut down.
And then the person working remotely at home had the kids to also tend to in between.
Right.
Yeah, that could be difficult. There's a lot of stressors, but to mend that, I always go back to communication.
Mm.
And then there's that, because what makes me question is, like, if you're a workaholic, would you rather work than spend time with your family? And if that's a yes, why?
Yeah, but what happens when communication doesn't work? What happens when communication may not be the fix because a person is so stressed from work and you get into the routine where you might be working 10, 12 hours a day, and the only thing you want to do is maybe grab something to eat and then relax. You don't want to deal with anything else. You understand what I'm saying?
You don't want to deal with anything else.
You don't want to do anything else.
You don't want to, but
right, because your
responsibilities don't stop.
Well, I understand the responsibilities don't stop, but what I mean is you're just stressed and you're drained, and so you just want to chill. Whether that's watching TV, reading a book, or whatever it is you do, and you just don't want to deal with anything else for the rest of the day. And then, once or twice that happens, it's okay, but that can build up over time.
Well, I mean, I think there's a set of priorities, like in your relationship, for instance, where you have the hustle and bustle of the house, work, all of those things, but you have to set a priority. So you can't let the relationship or the marriage or the family go sideways because of your dedication to your job over your family. And the reason why I say this is because this is just my opinion, but I feel more and more like companies don't really care about you.
That's true.
That you could die tomorrow and they replace you in 2 weeks. So while you're busting your ass, you're killing yourself, you're stressing yourself out, working, they can't ever compensate you for this time that you've lost with your family. Now go and do your 8 hours a day or whatever it is you get your job is set up for, right? But to go be above and beyond what you're compensated for cannot replace that family time. So when you're talking about, oh, you're so stressed that you don't want to talk about it, you gotta let your other person in. Like, if you're stressed from work, then it would be up to you to say, babe, I'm stressing from work, and of course I'm your person, so I'm gonna do what I can to help remove some things off your plate. But if I start to feel like all you want to do is just be stressed from work and not participate in the family or the relationship of the upkeep of it, then it's like, what happens?
Did you say 2 weeks? Like, it's less than that. You might not even be in the ground good before they got somebody else in your chair, in your cubicle, doing that job. Okay.
I'm saying they'll put that notice out
quick.
It would be on Indeed
immediately after. And they doing interviews.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because that's just how some of these companies go. I'm sure some are more personable, but some of these companies, some of these jobs, listen.
They don't care what you got going on at home. They don't care. No.
They feel like we paying you, and that's all they care about.
And you know what? And we are our society is so like work. Mm-hmm. Work all the hours. Talk about how early we got up. Talk about how many hours we worked. Why? Like, you've been, I've been here since such and such, or I didn't leave until such and such, and it's like, why did you do that?
Who cares?
And don't be getting paid overtime.
Right.
Are you partnering with the company? Do you own some of this stuff? No. Oh, well, that's just dumb. Does your family miss you?
You better stop it. Because
don't overstress. And I get that whole grind, right? If you're an entrepreneur, you are busting your ass for you. You working around the clock because you got this dream that you're trying to fulfill. I get it. That I get. And there comes a little bit of sacrifice with that. You have a conversation with your family, hopefully everyone is on board, and you sit down and you say, this is what's going to happen, this is what it's going to entail, but there's the light at the end of the tunnel, and this is where we're going to be at, and we're going to be better off for it for this sacrifice of temporary time, right? But to just be going busting your ass for a company that will just replace you tomorrow, it's just not worth it. And then talk to your person.
And we understand, trust me, we understand bills and things that come up that need to be taken care of because you just get into that.
Do your hours. Get your paycheck.
Yeah, get your money.
Yeah.
Because you get into it, it's like, man, I gotta keep these lights on, so I gotta do what I gotta do. But sometimes to do what I gotta do gets muddy.
Yes.
Because what does that mean exactly?
Yeah. Because we are in a society that wants to, we have to prove ourselves. Mm-hmm. We have to go above and beyond. But you're not getting paid above and beyond. Above and beyond is not on your job description.
I gotta do the next thing so I can get to the next spot to get more money to take care of whatever it is that you have to take care of.
Yeah, or you're busting your ass to get to the next level and they not promoting.
That's true.
You got some companies that just don't do that. They're just really comfortable with not promoting within. Some companies do, some companies don't. You got those that are stagnant, and they're not.
Well, they throw you a little something, throw you a few crumbs.
A little 50 cent.
Right. Throw you a few crumbs at the, get a small bonus at the end of the year, a little new something at the top of the year.
Call you in the office and be like, we have an exciting announcement for you.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we're gonna increase your pay. Oh yeah, 50 cents.
50 cents. If you don't, I need to get back to my desk.
See, this why y'all don't get above and beyond for me.
Call me in here for that. You working hard trying to take care of yourself and your family, and that's what happens.
Yes. So I want to place a footnote, because sometimes whenever I say things, I want to place a footnote. I am not, by all means, saying that you're supposed to go to work and do the bare minimum, right? There's some of us have that. We do the best that we can do within our knowledge, whatever. So you go and do you, but don't bend over backwards. Don't go overextend yourself for what you will not be compensated for. I'm saying, you gonna get what you pay me an hour for. I'm just saying, because I don't. See, you going on vacation, I can't go on vacation because you know what I mean. I
got PTO. I can't even take it. No question. I'm going to be where it is I have to be. If I got to be at work at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having good work ethic.
No problem. And for those 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever it is, I'm gonna do my thing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna earn my keep. I don't expect anybody to give me anything for free. I'm gonna earn mine till I get mine.
Right.
But at the end of the day, at 3:30, 4 o'clock, whatever it is, time I get off, and it's time to get out of there and turn my desk light off, hey, I am gone.
Yeah.
And please do not call me later this evening because I'm not answering the phone.
Right.
I am off.
And there's that line of where the expectation of you to answer the phone call after hours.
Because people can get to you because of their cell phones.
Yeah, and it's like once that, because you can build that access. You can grant people your manager that access to you, or your employer that access to you, where they feel like they can reach out to you after hours.
And you somehow feel a sense of obligation to answer the phone.
Right.
Because it's all tied into, I got to do what I got to do so I can get this promotion, or I can get more money, or whatever. Right. So I have to give up my time, and I don't, you don't have to.
Right.
You know what I
right.
mean? You make a decision to do that.
You're set at so many hours you're supposed to clock in the week.
Right.
So after that time, turn off them email notifications. You silence that. You silence, screen your phone calls. Nope, it's after whatever time you get off. That's not happening. And you take your time and you be present in your family's life.
Now, I have a relationship with my lead where occasionally there's text messages that come out in the evening for what's going to happen the next day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there may be something like that. But it's never another set of work hours
right.
in the evening.
Now, okay, so I will say this. There are times when your manager, your supervisor is just super cool. Mm-hmm. And you won't mind taking a call, or if they need something like, hey, sorry, it's I know it's after hours, but they won't abuse it. You know what I mean? Sometimes you are blessed to work with super cool people. And then those are the times where what, I'll take this phone call and I'll do this because of the rapport, because they make you feel appreciated for what you do. You know what I mean? You have those types of relationships at work, but when you don't and the person is just abusing it or abusing your work ethic, then that's a problem.
And you can get so concerned about how do you move up, how am I gonna get this bag, right?
Right. Mm-hmm.
And so then you got that stress going because you constantly feel like you have to be doing something,
right,
to keep things moving.
Yeah, it's that work mentality.
Right. So all day at work, you just on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then when you're not at work, you're on it inside
and
your brain.
And you bringing that home with you.
Yes. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And in this case, bringing it home with you means, oh, I'm leaving the office or the laptop and I'm going over to the couch to the table to eat, and I haven't left because there's no separation.
Or even worse, you're taking the laptop and your phone or whatever with you at the dinner table, and you're multitasking and pretending to spend time with the family. You're pretending to have dinner with the family when you have your face in your laptop or your phone. Yeah.
Right. So I haven't separated because when before all the pandemic, like you talked about the commute. So your work day is that whole time. Mm-hmm. From the time you wake up to start getting dressed, get in the car, get on the train, whatever it is, and do that in the reverse on the way home. Yeah. That could be 12, 13 hours, depending on how far you have to go. And traffic can be crazy some days. Yeah. So you could get up at 6 and you not home till 5:30. And then there's the time of, okay, I need to catch my breath. You know what I mean? Hey, honey, what time is dinner? Okay. Sometimes you walking in the door and you still got work to do when you walk in the door. Yeah. So now, leading up to the time of dinner, you haven't decompressed whatsoever.
Nope.
Then it's dinner.
You don't process that stress. You have to process stress.
Exactly.
Yes.
And then whatever's happening in the house, which, even though things might be calm that day, things are not ever finished. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you have to deal with that life balance that you're talking about there, when you're trying to, instead of you fitting work into your life, you're fitting life into your work.
Right. Okay. And work is a priority over life.
And your work is here, and your family's right there. And they'll start feeling that after a while. They'll start seeing those differences where it'll be, oh, I'm not even going to try and create these moments with you because I know you're not going to be able to give me your full attention. Right. Because either A, you're so stressed from work, or you're so focused on what it is you're trying to do next that you can't fully put yourself into what we're trying to do. Right. Around here and in here, and to get to enjoy life a little bit. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because you work. I mean, you work till you're 65, 67, whatever the retirement age is now. Okay.
Yes.
Right. You got another 12, 15 years maybe before you die. Okay. And what did you do? Right. When was the last time you took a vacation? Right. A real vacation. Where you just shut it down.
I think we should be taking mini vacations, though, when you just
regularly. Shut it down. I'm talking about you I'm not taking my laptop. None of that is happening. We're going
wherever
we're going, and it's over.
Right.
We're going to sit here and we're going, wherever you go, we're going to sit here and relax.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of the thing is a lot of people probably have a lot of PTO right now because they weren't taking vacation.
Right.
During the pandemic.
Right.
Everybody out there, take your PTO.
Right.
Because
that's another
your
thing.
days.
I think we're the only country that works as much as, you know, like other countries. They take the time. They get a whole lot more time off too.
Yes.
And they work less and they have less stress-induced health issues. But I wanted to also mention, just like you have boundaries when you're dealing with your relationships, individual relationships, you also have to have boundaries in your work life. You know, that's like, boss man or boss lady, you're not gonna be asking me to work all the weekend.
Oh no. Oh no. Take your time.
Because you know that little salary, you get paid salary trick. That's just a way to not pay you for overtime.
Yep.
Trickerations.
And I hope everyone knows and understands, you don't have to tell anybody what you're going to do with your PTO. Just take your PTO.
Oh man, people be so nosy.
You go to your boss, like, I need to take a couple days off. Why? Hey man, listen.
They're not supposed to ask you that.
Matter of fact, I don't even
people volunteer the information, but I think it varies. It may not vary. It may be federally enforced, but you're not supposed to ask.
Well, forget about whether or not you're supposed to ask. Is that I don't have to tell you.
No, you don't have to tell.
Okay. I have however many hours of PTO. I'm going to take a couple days off. Here's my request. I need Friday. I won't be here Friday and Saturday.
And it's none of their business.
Yeah, it's not that, hey, I need Friday and Saturday off, or Thursday and Friday off. I'm taking Thursday and Friday off.
Right.
I have 500 hours of PTO. I'm going to take 16 of them.
Yeah.
I'll see y'all on Monday.
Yeah, I don't really like that whole, can I get Friday and Thursday and Friday off?
Crazy.
It's like permission, like, I don't like it.
That's crazy. Why you give me this PTO if I can't
Yeah, we're going to give
it?
you PTO, but we're going to tell you when you can take it or not.
Right. That is so crazy to me.
No.
You know, take your time off. Get your relaxation on. You know, turn off, close the shades, close the curtains. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just chill. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And do nothing.
And part of that the creating the boundaries for work is also a form of you establishing your self-worth and value, because if you don't have established those boundaries, then anyone, you know what I mean, you don't have that cutoff point. And because of society, we were like almost like drilling into us that we have to be working, any downtime is like you're lazy. You know what I mean? What's this, you know, why not work smarter, not harder? You know, why are you bragging about being here 16 hours when you could have maybe got that done in less? What was you doing? Or you're not getting paid for it. That's not like what you want, a cookie?
And there's nothing wrong with taking a day off for yourself. And what I mean by that is, you know, people save up PTO, vacation time,
days.
Or sick time, or whatever it is you have.
No, people save PTO for sick days.
Right.
Because they work themselves sick, and then they have to use PTO because they don't feel good. Yeah.
And some companies only offer certain things.
Yeah.
So, but what I mean is, so sometimes you'll take a day off because someone in your family has something that you want to be at. So you say, I'm going to take Wednesday off because
of something. Yeah.
Right? My child is doing this, so I want to be there, or something like that. So that's the only time you actually take a day off. Is when an event is happening.
Right.
What I'm advocating for is just take a day for
yourself. Yes.
Just say, you know what? I'm going to take next Wednesday off just because. I'm not going to do anything. Yeah. I'm not going to stress. I'm not going to worry about what's happening at the office, in the office, or I'm not going to worry about these Zoom meetings or anything like that. And just take 8 hours.
Yeah.
Just take it. because I promise you, if you let them, they will work you to death, like you said.
Yeah.
And now that affects your stress level, it affects your home life, and it's off. And you don't really get to enjoy excuse me, you don't really get to enjoy the time that you should be enjoying.
Yes.
You know, I had someone ask me, one of my friends said, he was asking me about this job. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
This wasn't recent. This was some time back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like, "Oh man, I wanna get this other job that pays more money."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Oh, cool. Cool. Do that. Congratulations, right?" And we kind of talked through the job a little bit, and the job paid more money, but the job also required a weekend day. And so I said, "Listen."
Like
and
6 days a week working?
2 times a month you'd have to work a weekend day. And so, you know, from my job experience, job I had before the one I had now, it could be any day of the week.
Mm-hmm.
And it got to a point where the money is not good enough to keep doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so I explained, I said, there's one thing you can never get back, and that's your time.
Yep.
Okay. You can get a job and you can get paid and earn more money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You might spend it on some frivolous things sometimes, but if you're working, you can earn that.
Right.
You can earn money.
Right.
And every 2 weeks you get your check.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But when you miss something, or you don't set aside, time to do something, that ain't coming back.
Right.
So think about it before you make that decision.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because what are we chasing? We all get into this idea that we gotta chase money. We gotta have more and more and more and more and more.
And the thing is that we give ourselves permission to overwork, but we are so hesitant to give ourselves permission to relax.
Get your time.
And get your mental space in defending and guarding your peace of mind.
Because that affects everything else.
Yes, it does. It affects your family life. It affects how you are at work. And then the more peaceful you are within yourself, the less drama at work is going to affect you. The less you'll build healthier relationships, even at work. Even if they're just not like friendships, but just work affiliations. Then you won't let anyone walk all over you or push the boundaries of which your workload can extend.
Right.
So,
if you don't like your job, you don't like the money you getting on your job,
and you don't like the people
at your job,
right.
Those things might converge in a way that might not be the best.
Right.
Because you're going to be walking around with that stress, and it might be the day that you have time.
Right.
And everybody knows what I mean when I say I got time today.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that could go bad. So,
yeah, it can.
Make sure you're taking time for yourself and relax, and don't push yourself too hard, especially to chase money.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's kind of gotta weigh it.
Yeah, don't. I like to say, or I did say it one time, internally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna stop chasing money. I'm gonna chase the job. I'm gonna chase the job that fits what I do.
Right.
I'm gonna chase the job that makes me comfortable, that fits into my life.
Right.
As opposed to
that you actually can enjoy doing,
right.
or at least be content with.
Right. As opposed to
dreading
I'm chasing what this annual salary is,
right.
without thinking and considering what I'm going to have to give up
right.
to get that.
Right.
Now, if you can find both, if you can find and already have that, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying,
It's very blessed.
Yeah, you're very blessed. I'm saying, don't, you chasing money and taking away from your life and your family and your mental health. You know what I mean? It just it can affect you in some bad ways sometimes.
Yeah, and the thing is that it will bleed. It will bleed into the rest of your life, the other aspects of your life, if you're not happy at work. Indeed. So it's like finding the medium, and sometimes it's like really getting down to the basics and having a conversation with yourself. Like, you have to prioritize things. What's important to you? Is it doing what you want to do for a decent amount of money, or doing what you hate for a lot of money? The stress level, all of that, the time that it takes away from your family. What things are important to you? And so have that conversation with yourself and your spouse, and then be able to explore and have difficult conversations after that, because sometimes it is a difficult conversation because maybe your spouse is not on board with you being a workaholic. So
in the beginning, maybe going out there, get that money. That can change.
Well, I mean, it depends. Yeah.
So you ready to get out of here?
Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up.
Indeed.
All right. So, dads,
fellas.
Yeah.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy
Enjoy
Father's
your
Day.
Don't let your wives work you to death tomorrow.
Really? Don't let your job work you to death tomorrow if you have to work. Give yourself permission with everybody to have a mental day.
Oh, dads out there, enjoy your ties, enjoy your socks.
And your pressure washers and your tools.
Yes.
And your car tool, whatever that is.
And enjoy the summer projects that's to come, because that's what you got as a Father's Day.
You got a hammer, now you got to hang up some pictures.
Now you got to go do some work.
No, not
enjoy that.
Saw. Make me a stool. Too bad you don't do woodwork.
Listen.
I do my own woodwork.
We thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for checking us out. Thank y'all for following us on all the platforms. We appreciate it. We're going to keep this thing going. We're coming up on our 1-year anniversary next month.
And we'll send out a little something
so
on
we're doing the live on that
page.
So it's been a journey.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk about that.
Just kind of been coasting, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll talk about that and where we started, where we're at now, and our outlook on what we think about that, and because there's plenty of podcasts out there.
Yeah.
How our podcast has done for us, what it's done for us personally.
Yeah.
How we've grown from that. So until next time.
Be good, y'all.
Be good, everybody.
See you next time.
Yeah.